Hey everybody, Ron from Back in the Fairway here. Welcome back to the channel. I've done this video a couple of times now, as usual. Again, it's later than I'll get out, so I apologize for that. But the big thing here is I know I'm doing another talking head video. It's not always what you guys want to see, but as far as the channel goes, this is kind of what I have time to do at the moment. So this is what I'm going to do just to get one done for you guys and kind of give you an update on where I'm at and what's going on in the the whole turning pro piece and a couple other little events happening, things like that. So before I get too far into it, welcome back and let's get rolling. First up, how the summer has gone. It has been an amazing year, being the first full-time year in the industry for me. Again, back in March, I was given the ability to take on golf full-time without the aid of a secondary career. It has been fantastic. I've learned so much this summer, really delving into the industry in a crazy time. Couldn't ask for a better team to be surrounded by. And I'm kind of tooting all the horns for all the people there, but it really is. The ownership is so supportive. I've got an amazing head professional to learn under. I've got a group of guys that has been playing, competitive golf, even some of them on mini tours and foreign tours to kind of latch around and learn from. Just really amazing experience so far. I feel really blessed to have it happen the way it's happened for me. But what that rolled into for me this year was not nearly as much playing time as I thought I would get. Having the two jobs over the last 2 years really stretched me thin time-wise. This year I have made it out, I want to say about 25-30 rounds, which is way more than I've played in the last couple of years, but still fell a little short of what I thought I would be able to get in, just because of the amount of hours I spent doing some other things at the course. First and foremost, teaching. Going into this, I was really nervous about teaching, especially newer golfers. Swing corrections are real easy to help with. You can kind of see the ball flight. You can see the issues that they create with the path or angles and just adjust them out, and everything works out pretty well. When you're teaching somebody new, it's building an entire swing from the ground up. Much different experience-wise. And once you've done a couple, it starts to become a little easier for you, and that's when it kind of clicks. And for me, the first couple of seasons, I really kind of latched onto those that had kind of the building blocks already in place, kind of passed on some of the others and pushed them over to more experienced teachers. This year, I kind of dove all in about April and started taking on just about everybody. And I've really grown as a teacher for that. And that's something where if you're entering the program and you're getting into this, do it sooner than later. If you need a buddy to come watch you, grab your head pro or another pro at your course and bring them into the fold. But don't hesitate to jump in and actually teach people. It is the most rewarding piece of this job by far for me so far. I love having, sales and rounds and all the numbers and this and that. But when somebody that you taught the game to 3 months ago walks up to you and says, I'd never broken 100 until our last lesson and I shot a 98. And that smile on their face, the infectious little, I'm so excited to be here piece of that just makes your entire month or year just shine bright when you see somebody get that glow. And it takes you back to when you started playing the game and you fell in love with it and said, man, that first time I broke 80 was just amazing. You start rolling backwards. That first time I broke 90 was amazing. And you remember what you loved about this game more than anything. And that's probably the best thing for me so far this summer. The additional teaching time, I'm averaging, maybe about 2 to 3 lessons on the days that I'm booking out, and probably 1 or 2 additional just on off days where I'm not really trying to book them out. But so many people want to learn. So many people are just dying to get into this game and feel that connection to it, So teaching has really become the highlight of my day, and kind of almost the highlight of my time suck, if you want to call it that, is that I'm having so much fun teaching and enjoying the game that I'm not having the time to do videos like this for you guys. And if that's the case, I'm going to take that for everything I can, for as long as I can, and keep coming back to these videos in a little bit of way like this. I didn't get my testing videos done for the summer. I didn't get this and that. I'll get in more into that later. But for right now, I have got hours and hours of teaching video on my phone that I will videotape the whole session, put myself in there, and actually go back and watch how I'm teaching people to see what I can do better. Just like I videotape a swing and show them, I'm going to go ahead and video the lesson so I can see where I make mistakes and how I can do it better the next time. So that's definitely been a big one for me so far this year, is getting in there and teaching a lot more. It's just a fantastic feeling to teach somebody new how to play the game. From there, I also had my first event of the year back at the end of August, if I am not mistaken. So that's almost a full month ago now. Whoa, it may have been July. I think it was the end of July. So time flies when you're having fun. But that was actually held at one of my favorite courses over in Echo Falls. Played pretty well. I was really struggling with my putter at that time. I had developed a weird habit that when I went through to kind of self-assess, I couldn't see what I was doing wrong. But basically what was happening is every putt I was hit was pulling left. And it wasn't until I actually cornered our head pro in the office and said, hey, I got this putt issue that's missing left. Just have to figure out what I'm doing. And he goes, well, show me what you're doing. And I just mimicked it for him. He goes, you're opening your hip. And within 15 minutes of focused closing of that hip, all of a sudden everything started to roll straight again. All was good. So, really started wrapping around that. The event at Echo, I shot a 79, could have easily been a 72, maybe even a stroke or two below that if I had holed anything putt-wise. It was really difficult for me to shoot as well as I did and still have those issues with scoring. So that happened. Again, really loving the bag setup. As I've said before, went with Srixon ZX7 irons this year and reorganized the bag a little bit. Driver, fairway, hybrid at the top, 2 driving irons in the 3 and the 4, 5 through 9 in the ZX7 irons, and then a 48, 54, and 60 wedge. Really got a lot of versatility in that bag right now. And honestly, for the winter, it's really going to play nice because I've got a little more gapping at the top and less at the bottom. So, should play well since most of my shots 100 yards and in. I can manipulate the 54 and 60 to do something with it. Outside of that, I've got everything covered pretty much out to about 250 right now out of the fairway. So really feeling solid about the bag, especially going into next year. Winter plans, as you can probably tell, I've been a little bit out of the workout mode lately. The diet mode, workout mode, whatever you want to call it. Winter primary is going to be getting healthier. I'm starting up a program. Many people have seen the Orange Whip trainer, either on YouTube or Golf Channel or something like that. It's that one with the orange ball on the end of it, and you swing it for tempo timing, things like that. They have an entire fitness program that they offer, and I am jumping in on that this winter to see if I can shed a little bit of this extra, get a little more flexible, get a little more club head speed, and a little bit more control over my swing over the winter. So when I roll into spring, I'm loose, I'm ready to go, and we're rolling straight into member pros for next year. That takes me right into what is planned for 2022. Number one is I made a boo-boo this year again by not reading all of the fine print. I was signing up for member pro tournaments in the standard group thinking that 50 and over was the professional level, for seniors. And as I got into the season, I realized that it's actually 45 for the senior professionals. And that's due to the fact they weren't getting a lot of entries in the older professionals out here. So I was pretty well, could have entered a different division in those tournaments and done much, much better. So, well, I don't want to say did better, but I would have been playing against people that I would have had more of a chance of winning or playing, placing better. There we go. Placing better against. So that's about that. But that takes me into expectations for 2022, assuming that I can get some of the, the kinks worked out and feel better about my swing at that point in time. Assuming the Orange Whip training sessions get me a little bit looser and I can get that club head speed back above 110 regularly on the driver. I really think 2022 is going to be a great year for me playing. This was kind of the bridge year getting back into it. Now I've got an entire winter where I will have time to work on it and get those reps in, as well as the new covered range section that we're getting at our course. Snohomish Golf Course has really stepped up the practice area that we're getting for the winter. Top Tracer system is going in mid-October. Everything's good there. Going to have a great hitting bay when the weather's not quite as nice. Instead of trying to go down and hit 10 balls in the rain, it'll be a nice little covered deck. We can take lessons in there. We can even do club fittings all winter long in there, so that's going to help a ton as far as staying active and getting work in. So 2022 plans in a nutshell. Be taking more trips to other courses to learn better, more layouts and work on management there. Snohomish has become a little bit easier for me knowing where to hit the ball and everything now that I've gotten enough rounds in there. Getting into member pros next year, I'll probably do a split schedule of senior and regular events just because there's no rule against it. And there are some of the courses where I would love to play the regular sessions, as well as some of the events where I'd like to go as a senior to see if I, do have a chance to take home any titles from these. The level of player that these events attract are amazing. I mean, I can't say enough about the professionals in the area. They are all stellar players and they all have great games. It's just a question of, can I get mine to their level and keep it there long enough to show up for an event? I'm hoping I can. I'm really hoping I can post a couple of great scores this year and really, make 2022 a fun year for me playing. The last piece of that one is I'll be rolling into year 2 for me on level 1 courses will end in June or July. Might even be August. I can't remember exactly when I took my class online, but right in there, middle of summer. So I'll be 2 years into that. I want to get that turned in and get my testing done early in the year as quickly as possible, just so I don't bump into that 3-year deadline that they run into. So we've got the, better shape, getting in more flexibility, training with the Orange Whip, playing more courses and learning more about my game, as well as scoring better and also finishing level 1. And then the last little piece that I want to kind of jump into on here before I make this too long-winded. I know it's a little boring. It's probably, a lot of people said you should do a podcast with these. It's kind of what I'm doing. I mean, honestly, I'm recording this on a phone. I don't have a lot of expensive gear to do it, but it's okay. It seems to be resonating well with everybody that's following along, and that's great. But testing 21 and 22 year gear. Currently, we are running Wilson, Cleveland Strixon, Taylormade, and Ping in the shop. I am going to do my best to do some, I don't want to say reviews, but some gear highlights, I guess would be the good way to say it. I started doing some of those, but I've got a little bit of, and actually I went in for my my scan today. The pictures just showed some bone spurs on the joint where my shoulder comes together here. Nothing major. A little PT should take care of it. We'll see how it goes long term, but definitely explains a lot of the tenderness and soreness that I've had in my shoulder after extended periods of play or practice sessions, that type of thing. So hopefully I can get that cleared up pretty quick, and that will not impact my product testing that I wanted to do this year. This year I ran into the problem of, if I'm out on the range and hitting balls for any amount of time, just a little stiff right through the rotator cuff area here. And that's where that ball joint that has the little spurs on it that are rubbing up against the upper part of the shoulder there. They said there was no abnormal wear, but it's one of those things to keep an eye on. And like I said, heading into physical therapy very soon to start getting that worked and get them to try to relax those muscles a little bit more. Nothing super damaged there though, so that's great news as far as I go. Because if it was damaged, I would have a pretty big decision to make how I want to take care of it, whether it was surgery or whether it was something different. But for now, everything looks good in there. Just need to work it out a little bit and get those chips under control and call it good there. But then going into next year, you'll see some slightly older products from Wilson. There's not a lot of new in their pipeline yet. They're 2-year cycle for most of their irons. So the D9s came out last year. The CBs came out last year. Those will be around for another year. May take a quick look at those. Nothing huge technology-wise there on those guys. The Strixon ZX7s, ZX5s, ZX4s are all in their second year, so not a lot new there, but maybe cover a little bit of tech in those just so you understand things like the rebound frame, the forged face, blah, 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 blah. That leads to Taylormade, who should have some new products next year. But I definitely want to highlight the P790 that came out this year. That is a huge release for them, and in my testing, the club's an absolute rocket launcher. Absolutely loved it, but let me get some physical numbers to test against and everything like that for you. And then, of course, Ping just released their I-59 irons and a couple of new ones coming, I'm sure, for next year as well. The hard part with equipment releases is they are no longer set around like one period of time anymore. They're kind of releasing chunks here and there depending on the manufacturer. So it's really hard to beat the punch, get the reviews out there and everything like that. I think that's why I decided I'm going to go to more of a, like I said, an informational piece. I don't want to be a club reviewer necessarily because, like I've said in past videos, what works for me may not work for you. And I may see an offset iron that I absolutely despise, that you absolutely love. And I would never want to sway your opinion on a club. If you like the club, you hit the club well, it's your club. It's not my club. It's not going in my bag. You do you, as I tell my kid. And, everything will be fine in that bag. So enjoy that. I will try my best to give you good info on what's coming and what's out. And other than that, it's a pretty quiet day. Sorry this ran on so long. I just had to cram about 3 videos worth of material into one so I could just get this done and posted. So next time I will be back and I will be covering a little bit of what I'll be planning to do with the orange whip system and how that's going to help, get a little of this off, hopefully. Also help with this a little bit. Also, as this shoulder heals up, I'd love to get down to the range and do some more, like the little TikTok lessons and stuff that I've been doing. Just been really tough, like I said, with this shoulder. It's just been a little bit wonky. Haven't been able to get out on the course enough to do any vlogs for you either. But I will definitely try to add that to the system as well. Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. If you do have any questions or video requests, reach out to me. Instagram is @RonLunsfordGolf. I'll try to put it maybe right here. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, @RonLunsfordGolf on Instagram is definitely the place to find me. I'm also on TikTok with the same username. Please stop on those social platforms and say hi. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button down below, and we will see you next time.